If I told you that just one type of nut you eat every day could be quietly damaging your liver, causing joint inflammation, and even impairing your memory, would you believe it? You might think, that's impossible. Nuts are supposed to be healthy. But after more than 30 years as a doctor, I've seen far too many cases that prove the opposite. And the story of a patient named Peter is the clearest example of all. Peter is 67 years old. He's retired now, living a peaceful life tending to the small garden he cares for every morning. He used to take pride in what he called his clean eating habits. Little red meat, no cigarettes for more than 20 years. And every morning, he started his day with a small handful of mixed nuts, mostly cashews, peanuts, and macadamias. He said it was his secret to a healthy heart and a sharp mind, something he'd read about online. But in recent months, Peter came to see me because he'd been feeling constantly fatigued. Not the kind of tiredness that disappears after a good night's sleep, but a quiet exhaustion that seemed to seep into every cell of his body. He said his mind had become foggy lately, his steps slower, his sleep restless, and sometimes his stomach felt uneasy even though he didn't drink alcohol. When I looked at his test results, things didn't add up. His blood pressure was elevated, his bad cholesterol higher than normal, and his liver enzymes were abnormal. For someone who lived such a healthy lifestyle, it just didn't make sense. I began asking more detailed questions about his diet, and it wasn't until he mentioned his morning mixed nuts that I saw the real issue. Many people, even some doctors, don't realize that certain types of nuts, though they appear perfectly natural, can become a burden on an aging body. At 30 or 40, your liver, kidneys, and blood vessels are still strong enough to process fats, toxins, and complex plant proteins. But after 60, the body no longer functions the same way. Metabolism slows down, liver function declines, inflammation increases, and detoxification weakens. A habit that once seemed healthy, like eating nuts every day, can turn into a double-edged sword. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that adults over 60 who regularly consumed the wrong kinds of nuts had a 48% higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease compared to those who either avoided them or chose the right types. 48%, nearly half. That number isn't random. It reflects a little-known truth. Not all nuts are healthy once you're past 60. But don't worry. Today's video isn't just a warning. It's here to help you make the right choices. I'll show you the 4 types of nuts you should avoid, even though they're probably sitting in your snack jar right now, and the 4 types you should add to your daily diet to protect your heart, brain, bones, and thyroid. And I strongly encourage you to watch until the end, because the most dangerous nut, the one many people still believe is a superfood, is actually silently harming your body, and very few know it. Now let's uncover together the 4 nuts people over 65 should avoid, and the 4 nuts you should eat to stay healthy, sharp, and full of energy every single day. Perhaps no nut is more familiar to Americans than the peanut, the hidden inflammation trigger. From peanut butter sandwiches and baseball game snacks to mixed nuts on supermarket shelves, peanuts are everywhere. Yet here's a little-known fact. Peanuts aren't actually nuts at all. They belong to the legume family. And that distinction makes them very different from true nuts like almonds or walnuts. Because they grow underground, peanuts are highly susceptible to mold and aflatoxin, a natural toxin that can damage the liver. In younger people, a healthy liver can process most of this toxin, but once you're over 60, your liver's detoxification ability declines significantly, meaning even small amounts of aflatoxin can gradually accumulate over time. I've seen many older patients with elevated liver enzymes who didn't drink alcohol at all, and the main culprit was the handful of peanuts they ate every day. Not only that, peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. When the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 in your body is disrupted, it can lead to chronic, low-grade inflammation, the kind that causes joint pain, mild swelling, fatigue, and even brain fog. For older adults whose immune systems are already less stable, chronic inflammation from food is one of the fastest ways the body begins to lose strength and vitality. There's another detail many people overlook. Peanuts contain vitamin K, which can interact with blood-thinning medications like warfarin, a drug millions of people over 65 take to prevent strokes or blood clots. Without proper medical guidance, regularly eating peanuts could reduce the effectiveness of this medication. And if you think natural peanut butter is a safer choice, take a closer look at the label. Most packaged peanut butters contain added salt, sugar, and hydrogenated oils, ingredients that make your heart work harder to keep blood pressure under control. I'm not saying you should be afraid every time you see a peanut, but if you're over 60, treat peanuts as an occasional snack, not a daily habit. And if you're looking for a healthier alternative, choose almonds or walnuts. These two nuts not only support heart health, but also help reduce inflammation, boost memory, and protect the liver benefits that peanuts simply can't provide. If peanuts are the pretend nuts, then cashews are the sweet deceivers that fool more seniors than any other. They look smooth, creamy, and easy to chew, especially appealing to those with weaker teeth or who dislike harder nuts like almonds. But that very pleasantness makes cashews a subtle nutritional trap, especially once you're past 60. First, cashews contain more carbohydrates than most other nuts, about 9 grams of carbs in just 1 ounce, 28 grams. That may sound small, but for people with poor insulin sensitivity, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, which affects nearly half of Americans over 65, it can be enough to cause a noticeable spike in blood sugar after meals. I once had a 70-year-old patient who didn't eat sweets or soda, yet her blood sugar kept creeping up each day, all because she was eating a handful of cashews every evening. Beyond affecting blood sugar, cashews also contain oxalates, natural compounds that combine with calcium in the gut and reduce its absorption. In younger people, this effect is minimal, but for older adults, especially postmenopausal women who are already dealing with osteoporosis and chronic calcium deficiency, it becomes a serious concern. In fact, if you have a history of kidney stones, the oxalates in cashews can make that condition even worse. Another little-known fact is that processing cashews is an extremely complex task. Raw cashews contain a toxic oil called urushiol, the same substance found in poison ivy. To remove it, the nuts must be roasted at high temperatures and treated with steam, which destroys many of their natural vitamins and antioxidants. And when they're fried in oil or coated with salt, they turn into a high-calorie, high-sodium snack far from friendly to your heart or blood pressure. This doesn't mean you have to cut cashews out of your life completely. Occasionally enjoying a few dry roasted, unsalted cashews is perfectly fine. But if you're eating them every day, believing they're part of a healthy nut habit, it's time to stop. Replacing cashews with almonds or walnuts will help stabilize blood sugar, boost calcium intake, and support better brain health. If cashews deceive you with their sweetness, macadamias seduce you with their sense of luxury. Rich, fragrant, buttery, and smooth, many see them as the nuts of the elite, a healthy alternative to pastries or fried snacks. But for those over 60, macadamias are a hidden calorie bomb that can quietly send your health downhill without you even noticing. Just look at the numbers. A single ounce, about 28 grams of macadamias contains over 200 calories and 22 grams of fat, making them the most calorie-dense nut of all. That's not a problem if you're an athlete or a younger, active person. But in older adults where metabolism slows, muscle mass decreases, and the gallbladder becomes less efficient, this high-fat content can put serious strain on the digestive system. I've seen many patients experience bloating, indigestion, and even dull liver discomfort simply because they were eating a few macadamias each day for heart health. The problem isn't just the calories. Macadamias also contain a high amount of saturated fat, about 3 grams per ounce, a type of fat that can raise LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, if consumed regularly. For people over 65, this is particularly risky because blood vessels are already weaker and less elastic. So even a small change in blood fat levels can increase the risk of atherosclerosis or heart attack. Here's another practical point. Macadamias are expensive. Many people trying to save money buy cheaper batches that have been stored too long or improperly preserved. This causes the fats in the nuts to oxidize, creating free radical molecules that accelerate cellular aging. If you love the rich taste of macadamias, having a few once in a while is fine, Just don't let it become a daily habit. Instead, choose pistachios or almonds. They provide healthier fats and help manage blood pressure and weight far more effectively. Because no matter how luxurious macadamias may seem, they're simply not worth sacrificing your heart health or your waistline. You might be surprised to hear this. Pine nuts, those tiny, innocent-looking seeds, are actually among the most dangerous nuts for people over 60. They're often sprinkled on salads, blended into pesto, or used as toppings for Mediterranean dishes. Small, fragrant, and tender, they seem perfect. But it's that very harmless appearance that hides the truth. Pine nuts can trigger a range of subtle reactions in the body, especially if you're taking medication. First, pine nuts contain certain plant compounds that can interact with more than 60% of prescription medications commonly used by older adults, including cholesterol-lowering drugs, statins, antidepressants, and blood pressure medications. These interactions don't cause immediate side effects, but instead alter how the medication is absorbed and metabolized in the liver, making the dose either too weak, losing its effectiveness, or too strong, leading to dangerous side effects. I've had patients ask me why their blood pressure suddenly became unstable, even though they were taking their medication correctly, and the culprit turned out to be the pine nut salad they were eating every day. But that's just the beginning. Pine nuts can also cause a little-known condition called pine mouth syndrome, a reaction that leaves a metallic or bitter taste in your mouth, lasting for days, sometimes even weeks after eating them. In younger people, this is only a temporary annoyance. But for older adults, a distorted sense of taste can lead to loss of appetite and rapid weight loss. I once had a 72-year-old patient who lost nearly 4 pounds in just 3 weeks because she couldn't stand the bitter taste in her mouth after meals, all triggered by a jar of pesto she bought at the supermarket. In addition, pine nuts contain a high amount of polyunsaturated fats, the kind that easily oxidize into inflammatory compounds if the nuts aren't stored properly. This is especially dangerous for people living with arthritis, joint degeneration, or chronic inflammation, as it can worsen their symptoms without anyone realizing the cause. I know it may sound hard to believe that something as small as a pine nut could cause so many problems. But remember this, once you're past 65, everything you eat becomes a signal to your body. Pine nuts, no matter how fancy or expensive, aren't worth risking your vision, heart health, or sense of taste. If you enjoy pesto, choose one made with ground almonds or walnuts instead. It's safer and far more nutritious. Let pine nuts retire right along with you. After talking about the nuts that can quietly harm your body, it's time to turn to the silent heroes, the ones I often recommend my patients eat every day. And at the top of that list is the almond, a small nut packed with a powerful arsenal to protect your bones, heart, and brain. Many people don't realize that just a handful of almonds a day can make a noticeable difference in bone health after age 60. Almonds are a rich, natural source of calcium, about 90 milligram in a quarter cup, along with magnesium and vitamin E, three of the most essential nutrients for older adults. Magnesium acts like a delivery agent, helping calcium reach the right destination into your bones instead of clinging to artery walls, where it can cause calcification or blockages. As a result, your bones grow stronger, your arteries stay clearer, and your heart becomes healthier. Another major benefit is the healthy monounsaturated fats in almonds, which help lower bad cholesterol, LDL, and stabilize blood pressure, the two biggest risk factors for heart disease in older adults. At the same time, the 3.5 grams of fiber in each serving improve digestion and help prevent constipation, a problem faced by nearly 40% of people over 65. Almonds don't just strengthen your bones and heart, they also protect your brain. The almond skin contains flavonoids which, when combined with vitamin E, form a powerful antioxidant shield that helps prevent nerve cell damage and reduces the risk of memory decline. A study from Tufts University found that older adults who regularly ate almonds showed better cognitive scores and faster reaction times compared to those who didn't. If you have trouble chewing, soak almonds overnight. They'll soften while still retaining most of their nutrients. And always choose almonds with the skin on, unsalted, and dry roasted, not oil fried. The ideal serving is 15 to 20 almonds a day, enjoyed in the morning or as an afternoon snack. When used the right way, almonds are more than just a snack. They're a natural medicine that strengthens your bones, supports your heart, sharpens your mind, and keeps your digestion running smoothly. At 65, you don't need a miracle. You just need a handful of almonds each day. There's a fascinating reason nature designed the walnut to look just like the human brain because it truly is food for the mind. If almonds are the guardians of your bones, then walnuts are the steadfast shield for your brain, especially after age 60, when memory, focus, and reaction speed begin to slow down. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based form of omega-3 that's rare among nuts. This nutrient helps maintain the structure of nerve cell membranes, supports communication between brain cells, and reduces inflammation in the central nervous system. When those cell membranes stay strong, the brain works more efficiently, thinking stays sharper, and memory lasts longer. Many studies have confirmed this. A report in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that older adults who ate 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks showed significantly better memory and information processing speed. To me, that number isn't just data, it's proof of the power of small but consistent changes. Walnuts also contain unique polyphenols that can cross the blood-brain barrier, helping to reduce inflammation and fight oxidation directly within brain tissue, a crucial benefit if you're concerned about Alzheimer's or dementia. In addition, walnuts naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, something your body produces less of as you age. That's why a small handful of walnuts before bedtime can help you fall asleep more easily and enjoy deeper, more restorative rest without the need for medication. If possible, choose walnuts with their shells intact and store them in the refrigerator to prevent the oils from turning rancid. Eating 7 to just 9 halves a day is enough to provide your brain, heart, and mind with the omega-3s they need. In the world of nuts, pistachios are often underestimated. Small, simple, and rarely featured on superfood lists. Yet if you ask me which nut is best for people over 60 to manage blood pressure and protect their eyesight, my answer would undoubtedly be pistachios. What makes pistachios special is their golden ratio of potassium to sodium. Just 1 ounce, about 49 nuts, contains 285 milligrams of potassium, more than half a banana. Potassium acts as the gatekeeper of your blood vessels, helping regulate fluid balance and preventing the kidneys from retaining excess salt, a common cause of high blood pressure in older adults. According to several studies, eating pistachios regularly can lower systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 mmHg, about the same effect as some mild medications, but without the side effects. Pistachios aren't just good for your heart, they're also your eye's best friend. Their unique greenish-purple color comes from 2 carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect the macula in your retina and help prevent macular degeneration, AMD, the leading cause of blindness in people over 60. Eating pistachios regularly not only helps you see more clearly, but also slows the aging of your eye cells. One thing I truly love about pistachios is how they teach you to eat more mindfully. Having to shell each nut encourages slower, more conscious eating, allowing your body time to recognize fullness and avoid overeating. A study in the International Journal of Obesity even found that seeing the pile of empty shells makes people automatically eat 20 or 25% less, yet still feel satisfied. This is especially helpful for older adults who want to maintain a stable weight and manage blood sugar levels. Pistachios contain 3 grams of fiber per ounce, which helps regulate blood glucose effectively. Pistachios may not be as famous as walnuts or almonds, but they are the perfect bridge between nutrition and balance. Just a small handful of pistachios each day is enough to keep your heart beating steadily, your eyes clear, and your mind calm. If almonds strengthen your bones, walnuts nourish your brain, and pistachios stabilize blood pressure, then Brazil nuts are the silent protectors of your thyroid. And the thyroid, though small, shaped like a butterfly at the base of your neck, plays a powerful role in maintaining your energy, weight, mood, and focus, all of which often change noticeably after age 60. Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium known to man. Just 1 small nut provides more than 130% of your daily selenium needs. Selenium isn't a trendy nutrient like omega-3 or collagen, but for older adults, it's the key that activates thyroid hormones, the very hormones that regulate nearly every metabolic process in your body. When your selenium levels are adequate, your body burns energy more efficiently, your mood stays steadier, and your mind remains sharper. Beyond that, the selenium in Brazil nuts also helps protect nerve cells by maintaining the myelin sheath, the insulating layer around nerve fibers that ensures signals travel quickly and accurately. When myelin weakens, reflexes slow down, movements become clumsier, and memory declines. Getting the right amount of selenium is a natural way to preserve the agility and clarity of your nervous system. However, with this nut, less is more. Eating too many can lead to excess selenium, which may cause hair loss, brittle nails, or digestive issues. That's why I always tell my patients, just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day is perfect. Choose nuts with the shell on and store them in the refrigerator to preserve their nutrients and prevent the oils from turning rancid. When you eat them, you'll taste a rich, slightly sweet flavor, but behind that taste lies a natural vitamin for longevity gifted by nature itself. What I want to emphasize isn't just which nut is better, but understanding what your body truly needs. After 60, your body doesn't respond the way it once did. Every meal, every sip of water, every small habit sends a signal to the complex biological system within you. If you learn to listen, your body will tell you exactly what it needs. And when that happens, you don't just live longer, you live better. When you eat the right foods, your body recovers. When you get enough sleep, it heals itself. When you ease your worries, it breathes deeper. Don't let age be an excuse to neglect your health. See it instead as a reminder that it's time to care more for yourself. The body never truly expires, it simply reflects how you treat it. When you choose clean foods, stay hydrated, and keep your emotions balanced, your body rewards you with clarity, optimism, and deeper, more restful sleep. That's not a distant dream. It's the result of simple choices repeated every day. If today's message helped you understand your body better, take a second to give this video a like. That small action not only helps spread valuable medical knowledge, but also shows that you're taking charge of your own health. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that each week you'll receive simple, science-based tips designed especially for people over 60. We believe that aging isn't the end. It's the beginning of a calmer, deeper, and healthier stage of life. Before you go, share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, did you used to believe that all nuts were healthy, or do you now understand that choosing the right ones matters more than the quantity? Type A if you once thought all nuts were good for you, or B if you've realized today that not every nut is suitable after 60. Your answer might be the encouragement someone out there needs to start their own journey toward better health. And finally, remember this, your body doesn't weaken because of time. It weakens when you stop caring for it. Treat it with patience and respect, and you'll be amazed at how it can still recover, stay strong, and live fully. Your health isn't in the past, it's being written right now through every small choice you make. Start today because you deserve to live healthy, live long, and live in peace.